Today we're speaking about clean energy. 25 terawatts comes from the amount of energy we as a planet consume. So imagine if there was a plug point and a socket in which the whole planet was plugged into. 25 terawatts is the order of magnitude of energy that we are using on average all the time. Yep, it's a huge number. 25 terawatts. So it's kilo, mega, giga, and tera. Each of these go in thousands. So kilo is 1,000, mega is 1,000, and so on. So you get the idea. It's a lot of energy. So the planet is requiring all this energy. But what about the energy that's already there from the sun, from the wind, from the earth? So all of these sources of energy are abundant, are able to provide energy that is needed for human beings to do everything that they need to do. So why the scarcity? So much noise about the fact that there is less energy. Perhaps it's not like there will be endless sources of fuel that we'll be able to tap into. But definitely, as far as renewable sources of energy are concerned, like sunlight, wind, geothermal energy, and the heat from the Earth's surface is geothermal. So, all of these sources of energy are actually abundant. There is more than enough energy being supplied by these sources that is needed for the planet to carry on surviving and even thriving. So, the way these sources of energy are tapped into, especially with solar being solar panels, then you have battery systems that can store this energy. You also have things like nuclear energy. So, you have hydrogen fuel cells, you have nuclear fission, nuclear fusion. All of these technologies are clean sources of energy that are able to produce electricity. You have gas as well, things like biogas. You have heat exchangers that can be used to produce heat, air source heat pumps, which work on the differential in temperature to heat your homes. And you have solar panels that are quite common in a lot of homes these days. We have electric cars that are able to use electricity, like in a place like the UK, where a lot of the energy that is being supplied by the energy suppliers is coming from renewable sources. You are now able to literally, in some way, run your vehicles for free. I do that. I have an electric car, I have solar panels, and I have a battery system as well. So there are times when the sun is able to produce enough energy from my solar panels, which is enough to charge my car. So I can have a full charge on my car from energy generated by my solar panels. That didn't cost me anything. It cost me a certain cost to install those solar panels, yes, but that cost was retrieved in as little as 5 years. As my consumption is really low, I am able to produce more energy than I consume, and hence the output in terms of the cost worthiness of those panels, those solar panels, and the battery system has been more than worthwhile for me. And then let's look at some other renewable sources of energy like wind turbines. I feel there's a way to go in terms of how domestic applications of wind turbines can come into being. I have seen some in the market, but I feel that is definitely an area that will see more advancements, and we will see small wind turbines being located on people's houses more often. Right now, I don't see that happening too much, but definitely it is an area of growth. Then we have geothermal. I talked about air source heat pumps. We also have hydroelectric energy. So you have rivers and streams flowing, which can easily be used to create some sort of turbine to generate electricity to power a light bulb, for example. Campsites near rivers shouldn't need to have battery packs that people need to carry. It should have simple applications of water turbines or hydroelectricity produced that can help people light a light bulb, charge their phone, have a basic amount of energy that they can utilize to do what they need to do in a camp like setting. Domestic applications that are accessible to people are also things like battery systems. This is something that is a bit of an untapped resource that a lot of people don't use because of probably not enough education being there about these systems being installed, but you can also just have a battery installed in your property to take energy from the grid at night times. They're off-peak rates. So like for example, my supplier provides 30p per kilowatt hour in the daytime, and at night time it drops down to something like 9 pence per kilowatt hour, which is a third, less than a third of the actual cost that is there in the day. So you can have energy that is being supplied at off-peak hours and store it in a battery and use it to power your homes. That way your energy consumption is happening at a rate, but the cost of that consumption is going to be far less if you have a battery installed at your property or business. Then you also have smart devices like thermostats, which are able to adjust the temperature by knowing how much temperature there is and sensing it and being able to adjust based on your comfort settings. You have lots of smart devices that even motion sensing lights, which can be installed in properties. I have another video about smart homes which you can check out. If electric cars, of course, I have spoken in depth about my electric car, which is a BMW i3. No endorsement here, but it's lovely. I feel electric cars are the future. So many of my friends and colleagues that I know of have switched from fuel cars to electric cars, and they're never going back. Literally, that's what I hear, that once they have gone to electric, they don't see any reason why they would want to switch back to a fuel car. I'm not saying that's absolutely universally applicable, but definitely it is an option that more and more people are starting to see the value of. And it actually costs less for you to drive an electric car, and it's better for the planet. Why wouldn't you? I mean, you can have a noisy V8, which is nice to hear and fun to drive, but so is electric with all that instant torque. Yes, the noise factor isn't there. Yes, the appeal of a roaring engine isn't there. But these are things we have gotten used to because of the way technology has evolved in the automotive sector, being more loud and engine driven. When we think of the first few motors that were developed, guess what? A motor was attached to a car or a carriage before an engine was. Engine technology is what allowed people to do more miles and go further and go faster versus a motor in the beginning. Also, the abundance of oil, and that's what fueled the automotive industry to being more fuel centric. But electric cars have been around for longer than fuel cars have. They just didn't take off at the time. Now that we have battery technology that is advanced enough to support electric cars, now we see electric cars really becoming the norm of automotive mobility. So all these sources of energy which are clean, which are accessible to you, I would encourage you to consider changing certain aspects of your life that enable you to use energy in a more clean, in a more responsible way. Make choices that are better for your wallet and better for the planet. I am Rishi Gupta from 25 Terawatts. If you would like to have a conversation about how AI can enable you to do more of what you love, less of what you don't, there's a link in the description that you can click and book a call with me. If not, no worries. Be safe. Bye.